Hi everybody. Today I wanted to share a story that was told to me a long time ago, and it's about a subject that I really don't know much about. I've tried to do a bit of research after the story was told to me to see if I could find anything or somebody who had a similar experience, and I haven't. So it's kind of like the main reason why I wanted to share this story with you guys is in hopes that somebody may have experienced something similar and can explain what happened, because I don't know, and I don't know if it's what I think it is or if it could be something else. So I'm just going to get right to the story. My friend moved to this little town, if you can call it a town. It's more like a cafe, a mechanic shop, and then like a street with a couple of houses on it, but somehow it's a town. And he moved to this house on the street when he was about 5 years old, and it was him, his older brother, and his parents. And they didn't know anybody on the street, so they were new. And at first, I guess everything was fine until one day he came home from school. He was sitting at the dining room table, he was doing his homework, and he happened to look out the window, and there's this lady, all in black, staring at him from the middle of the street. And I say that she was staring at him through the window from a pretty good distance, where I would assume that you would not be able to see anybody. But he said that he had the distinct feeling that she knew that he was there and that she was staring at him. And when that happened, he got scared and he called for his mom. And his mom came in and she looked out the window, and sure enough, there's the creepy lady standing in the middle of the road staring at their house. And she gets a little scared because they're new there. They don't know if there's like a crazy person on the street that they need to be aware of, that they need to protect themselves from. So she gets scared, she closes the curtains, and she gathers up her son, and they just hang out in the living room until their father comes home. And when he comes home, they tell him about the incident, and he immediately goes to one of his neighbors and he inquires about maybe there being a crazy lady or something on the street that they need to know about. And when he asked about the lady, the neighbor kind of got all hush-hush, like he didn't want to talk about it. And he was really hesitant in his response, but he did tell them something along the lines of, nobody really knows much about her. We don't know where she lives, if she lives anywhere, if she lives in the woods. She just shows up. And if she does show up, you guys need to stay indoors and not come out until she leaves. And you need to make sure she's gone before you go outside. And his dad kind of blew that response off because that sounds flippin' ridiculous. So they didn't really worry too much about it after that, and they all went to bed like nothing happened. And in the middle of the night, that same night, everyone got woken up by like a loud crash, and the house seemed to be shaking from its foundation, and the lights were all out, even though like the street light outside was on, and it appeared everyone's porch lights were on. It was just their house that was being affected by this outage. And everyone in the family rushes into the living room, and things are being shattered, things are flying off the walls, and it just gives the feeling that the house is literally about to just come down on them. And at this point, my friend said that he looked out the window and he could see the same lady standing in the middle of the road staring at them. And at the sight of her, a weird feeling just kind of like washed over the entire family, and it's like, I guess they fell into a daze and they all just went back to bed. And the next morning, my friend woke up, and he looked around, and he noticed that the house was clean, and he became really confused because he swore up and down that what happened last night happened last night. So he goes to his parents that morning, and he asks them, what happened last night? Did they clean up in the middle of the night that he was unaware of? He doesn't remember going back to bed. And his parents were just as confused as he was. They were like, we're not really sure what happened last night, but we do know something happened, because they all remembered the same events in the same amount of detail. So I don't know if they all had shared a dream or what. I'm not really sure. And since that night, my friend said that he started to sleepwalk in that house. And at first it was pretty mild, like he would wake up at the front of his door, and he was just with this urge that he needed to go outside, but he didn't go outside because they live in the country. They live basically in the middle of the woods, and it's not really safe because of animals. It could possibly devour a little boy at that time of night. So he didn't, and he knew better, so he just went back to bed. And that happened for a couple of weeks until he started to wake up at the front door, and he was locking and unlocking, but not actually going outside. And that happened for a couple of weeks until eventually he says one night he knew he was sleepwalking, but that he was fully aware of what was going on. And he said he remembered getting out of bed, going to the front door, unlocking it, going outside, and walking to the street, and that lady was there. And he said that when he approached her, what he had thought was a very old and ugly lady was actually a very beautiful young woman with very fine porcelain skin and long black hair. And he couldn't quite see her face because she happened to be looking down into her hands, that she was holding something in her hands, and she was saying something, but he could not understand what she was saying. And he said at one point, as he was standing in front of her, something came over him, and he just turned back around and walked back inside, closed the door, and went back to bed and fell back asleep. And he would not have believed that that had even happened if he had not woken up the next morning and his feet be all filthy from earth, and then his sheets being dirty. So that's what happened to him. And he says since that night he didn't sleepwalk anymore, and he never saw that lady anymore, and nothing ever weird ever happened again involving that. And I don't know what that could have been, but he said that he thinks that it was a witch. And I've done a little bit of research, and there's different types of witches, and I really don't know, because apparently the modern day witch is not necessarily evil. They're not evil. They don't worship Satan. That's an entirely different thing. That's not a witch. So I really don't know if it was an evil thing, or if it was a witch, what was she doing? Was it a demon, or was it someone who, worshipped the devil and they were doing something weird? I don't know. But I didn't get a good vibe off of it. And that night when he told me, we both decided that we would go down to that road and that street and see if we could find anything. And I was pretty foolish, because it would have been awful if we had went down there and something was there waiting for us, and then we brought it back. Because we don't need to be having more energy in this house. And I was at a time when, things were happening. I didn't need anything else, especially something negative. But I don't know. If you guys have any explanation as to what that could have been, please let me know, because I've researched it for a couple of years, just trying to find something that's remotely similar to the experience that he has told me, and I haven't found anything. The only like experiences I see on the internet are like when people who play with witchcraft and they don't like understand it, the concept of it fully, and they invite something terrible in, but not like having been targeted by somebody who does witchcraft or hexes or whatever. I really don't know. So yes, please leave a comment down below to help me understand this experience. Also, if you like my stories or like my channel, please like and subscribe, and also visit my Facebook page. I'm thinking about not uploading so often. I'll probably just start uploading once a week because I really don't have the time anymore to be doing so many videos during the week. So this is my solution to that problem. Anyways, thank you guys. I will see you guys next time. Bye.